Good evening, students. Today we will discuss one of the most important sorting technique, that is the selection sort. In selection sorting technique, we find the smallest value and we place at the beginning location. Let us see with the help of example. Suppose if there is a character array containing 5 characters X, D, B, F, T. Now we want to sort in alphabetical order or ascending order. So because this array of size 5, this can take maximum 4 steps to arrange it using selection sort technique. So as for the technique, firstly we have to find the smallest number and we have to place at beginning. So you can see the smallest value is here D, that will be placed at beginning. So in step number 1, D will be here, X, V, F, T. One element is sorted. Now the same process we have to repeat for the remaining elements. Out of this 4 elements, you can see the smallest value is F. Now that will be exchanged with X. So the array is D, F, V, X, T. 2 elements are sorted. Now the same process will be repeated for the remaining elements. Out of V, X and T, I think you can see the smallest value is T. T will be exchanged with V. So in third step, D, F, T, X, V. 3 elements are sorted, and out of X and V, you can see V is smaller than X, so V will be exchanged with the X. So the final answer is D, F, T, V and X. So array sorted. So for the same technique, now we are going to implement the program. So we have a question, write a program to input 10 characters from a user, sort them in ascending order using selection sort technique. So on the same concept, if you want to make program for selection sort in ascending order, so as you know the import java.util, that will be in the beginning, then class selection ascending, void main, then scanner object is needed. We'll declare array, character array of size 10. So for that, char a, array name, square bracket, new char of size 10. Okay. Now some other variables, we need 2 loops for sorting and 1 variable to store the index for the smallest value si. We need 2 character variable also, one to store the smallest character because that array is of character type, and one for the swapping, that is also required in character type. Now we can take the input of 10 characters, so we can give a message, enter 10 characters, loop is required for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and at a of I is equal to, as you know, the for input of character we use sc dot next dot charac 0. See? So this is the input. Now we will start the sorting technique. As we have discussed in the figure, if there are 5 elements, you have seen 4 steps are required. So here size is 10, so total 9 steps are required. So the first loop is for the step only, for I equal to 0, I less than 9, I plus plus. This loop is for the number of steps. Okay. Then every respective element we have to assign as a smallest, s is equal to a of I, and we have to maintain the index in si variable. Okay. In s we are assuming the smallest number, and in si we are storing the index of the smallest number. Now the second loop is for the remaining elements to find the actual smallest number. So j will begin from I plus 1 up to the last element, j less than 10, j plus plus. One by one we will check if any element of the array is smaller than the s, this the element which you have assigned as the smallest. If you are finding any other smaller value than that, so that value will be stored in S, and that index will be stored in SI. J is the current index. In SI we will store J. So this loop is for finding the actual smallest number, okay, or the smallest value, okay. Once the smallest number is found, it is stored in S and the index is stored in SI. Now it's time for the swapping. So T is a variable, temporary variable. Firstly, the number we will store in T, A of I. Then at A of I location, you will bring the number which was actually smallest. So that is found at which location? SI location. So that element will be shifted to AI, and on that location where the smallest number was found, you will shift T. So this three line is known as swapping, exchanging of the value. Values are exchanged in the array, and after this, now finally we have to print the sorted array. So here I am writing. After this, we can give a message sorted array, and loop is required again for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and system dot out dot println here. End of loop, main end. So this is the program for selection sort in ascending order. Once you see the steps, firstly we are declaring character array, okay, then other variables, required variables, input of the array. The first loop is to represent the number of the steps. Here we are assigning one number as the smallest and index in a SI variable. Then using this loop we are finding the actual smallest number of the array, and finally we are swapping that smallest with the beginning location. T is equal to A of I is equal to A of SI, A of SI is equal to T. Now loop is over, sorted array, I equal to 0, I less than 10, and this is the printing. So I have selection sort, technique is clear.